You are listening to the Knightline Sports Network, brought to you by Travis Dever and the Dever team, 386-690-1636.
Welcome to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Night Nation's only call-in show goes live now.
All right, hello, Night Nation. Hello, Orlando. This is Andrew Phegley, and this is Knightline at Night. We're live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barr Law, assisting injured veterans to get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036, or visit protectingvets.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. We're taking your calls, though, so you can call us, 844-580-9326, 844-580-9326, or you can use the open mic feature in the WDBO app. Once again, I'm Andrew Phegley, AP_Knightline on Twitter. Got Big Ben Stout here with me, and he is at BigSocial32 on Twitter. Roger Phipps has the evening off, and you can find all the rest of our content on NightlineSports.com. Got Joseph in the at the helm tonight at the desk at WDBO. We're talking UCF sports, obviously. Ben, nice to have you back. You were off last week.
Yep.
So good to have you back. Welcome. We're talking UCF sports. 100 days today, by the way. 100 days today before football starts, if the game is on Thursday night, because we're not really sure when that game is yet. It's still listed on the football schedule for. It actually has it for Saturday, September 4th, but it also says underneath asterisk or right. September 2nd or September 3rd. But what I've been hearing, though, is it's probably Thursday, September 2nd. So if it was Thursday, September 2nd, that would be 100 days from today.
All right.
So we're getting close.
I imagine ESPN is going to want to feature that game on that Thursday or Friday night, so I wouldn't be too surprised if they moved it up to that Thursday night showcase.
Exactly, and that game is against Boise State. Could be kind of a big game, big matchup. I think people are excited about it. Number one, it's the very first game of the football season. Mm-hmm. Boise State has kind of been a... UCF and Boise State kind of have similar paths, we'll say. I don't know how else, really to say that. They were from the G5, they are from the G5, and they've gone to the Fiesta Bowl a couple of times, gone, numerous times to New Year's Six Bowls we have as well. So, there's all this talk between fan bases of Boise State and UCF. Who's better?
Right.
They did it first. Well, we did it more often, I think, and blah, blah, blah. So...
Yeah, we've talked about it previously on the show how Boise State's kind of that old school disruptor, right? It was like early 2000s when they did that Statue of Liberty play and beat Oklahoma, and so they were that kind of original disruptor of college football in the landscape that is kind of that good old boys network, and certainly UCF in more recent years, and I would you could easily say in 2013 and even before that, in some cases, they certainly, we certainly jumped on the scene and are that disruptor that is more relevant nowadays. And so Boise State's had a couple up and down seasons over the last few years, but I think that they're going to be a game matchup, for the season opener. And like you've talked about previously, like we've talked about on the show, I mean, UCF and Night Nation, I mean, we're just going to be so excited to be back in the bounce house, 100% capacity. It's going to happen, and we're going to be ready to support the Knights, and I just can't wait.
I can't wait either.
It's going to be awesome.
We've talked about this. I think we were talking about it last week on the show, how much we cannot wait for this all to happen. And I think that football fans from across the United States, whoever your team is, you can't wait for football to start. So it's going to start for everybody, on that Thursday, September 2nd. will be the start of college football. I think that those are the first games. So it's going to be extremely exciting. So, Boise State. So.
And in early September too. I mean, you would hope as a UCF fan that we might be able to get that night game on Thursday or Friday night, just for the kind of heat's sake. You wouldn't love we'd all be excited for Saturday at noon, but it would be quite hot in the bounce house.
None of us want that. Yeah. ESPN's schedule still says Saturday, September 4th, but it's not completely out yet. And if you look at the week 1 thing, I believe that I've seen numerous, schedules. So some of them say this game for Thursday. Some of them say for the Friday. Some of them say, so it's still kind of up in the air. But I kind of hope that it's on that Thursday, because that would be the actual, beginning of college football, and that would be one of the opening games. So
are they going to have that week 0 this year, where they had it a couple of years ago? Obviously they didn't have it during last season, but I wonder if they're going to have like one feature game in college football the week before, but I'm not sure if they've scheduled that or planned that yet.
I think there is a game that is scheduled kind of weird on a Sunday the first week, I believe. And I think that it's Florida State and Notre Dame, I believe, is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, September 5th. And then Monday, September 6th, there's a game as well, Louisville and Ole Miss.
That would make sense. That's that Labor Day weekend, right? I believe so. That usually that's what you get with that, 4 days of college football to kick off the season.
Well, that's even awesome. More awesome. Yeah. And obviously the UCF fans are probably going to be watching the Florida State game, the majority of us, to see if Mackenzie Milton plays, also to see if Bam Moore plays, two guys that went from UCF. Of course, all the UCF fans that I'm talking to right now know Mackenzie Milton very well. If you don't know who he was our quarterback for a couple of years. One of the best players ever to play at UCF, went down in the last game of his junior year?
His junior year, yeah.
And then dislocated his knee horribly, almost lost his leg, blah, blah, blah. It's been a couple of years. He finally got up and going and transferred to Florida State because of our current quarterback, Gabriel Davis, which is one of his very good... Dylan Gabriel, sorry. Gabriel, blah, blah, blah. I just saw Gabe Davis's name pop up. So Dylan Gabriel, yes. Jeez.
A lot of Gabriels. It's all good.
There is. Yeah, there's a lot of Gabriels. Man, I was looking at the roster. Anyway, I'll talk about that later. I always have to mess something up pretty good. So anyway, Dylan Gabriel, one of his best friends, and he really didn't want to take away from what he was doing here, so he decided to go someplace else.
Right.
Florida State was the place. He was very familiar with the coach that's up there, and all that. And so, I mean, most of us, I believe, are completely happy for him.
Oh, yeah.
I know that there's some fans that have a little animosity that he's going to another team, but they don't understand, I don't think, the brotherhood of football and everything else to understand why he would want to give his buddy, the chance to really be the leader, and it's his team.
No doubt.
Yeah. So anyway, I was looking at the roster, the UCF roster earlier, and there are a lot of people with the same names. We have 2 wide receivers with the last name Robinson, which could be interesting.
That's Jalen Flash Robinson, and who's the other guy?
Kadeem.
Kadeem Robinson.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he was. Was he a freshman last year, or was he a transfer from like a JUCO guy?
He was like a JUCO guy, so he's listed as a sophomore. Okay. But yeah, and there's probably more. The thing is, this is the other thing. Since Gus Malzahn's been here, and that the transfer portal is such a big deal these days, where a player can transfer. The NCAA made a new rule, basically, where a player can transfer without sitting out once in his college career. So now the transfer portal, which has been around for a long time. I mean, it's always been there, but the last couple of years it's kind of grown and people can watch it a little bit more and stuff like that. So it's just much more out there. And Gus Malzahn has done incredible things in this transfer portal.
He really has.
It's hard.
He just got another one from Auburn.
Yes, it's even hard to keep track, to be honest with you, of all the transfers coming into UCF. We haven't seen any of these guys, remind you, on the field yet.
Mm-mm.
They will be, Brandon Johnson is on the list, and when we've seen him, we saw him in the spring. He was a transfer that happened before Gus Malzahn. He was the very first one.
Yeah, he was like right before Heupel left.
Tennessee transfer, yes.
Which was ironic.
So he came from Tennessee, and Heupel went to Tennessee.
Yeah.
So kind of weird.
Him.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, I'll take Brandon Johnson over Heupel any day.
He actually got a lot of hype in spring ball. I got you.
Okay.
Exactly.
He did, yes. He was the guy that went across the middle, I remember, at the spring game. Totally went across the middle and took a good hit, but held onto the ball. And, he's one of those kind of guys, kind of a hard-nosed guy. There's a few hard-nosed guys, and I like those guys in here. Isaiah Bowser probably is the person that I am the most excited about. I've talked about this guy every show that I've done since he has been on our roster. So excited about this guy, a running back from Northwestern, and this guy is a bowling ball. Mm-hmm. He is a big, big running back.
No doubt.
So very excited to see him. Cannot wait for that.
And speaking of the word big, I mean, Big Cat Bryant. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest transfer out of all these people, the biggest name. Big Cat Bryant from Auburn, defensive lineman, was a all SEC type player,
second team
all SEC. Yep. My friends that are Auburn fans, when they heard that he was coming to UCF, all were texting me and calling me and be like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe that you guys got this guy. It's that big of a deal. Like, I can't wait to see this guy play. I cannot wait." I think he's just going to completely tear it up. But there's lots of guys on this list, and we can go down this list a little while. We got a break coming up here fairly shortly, but we'll go over this list a little bit and talk about some of these guys if you want to. Some of them have some stories. There's 4 or 5 players now from Auburn, which is pretty exciting. 2 kickers, which is interesting. We got another kicker coming in this week. That was kind of a late notice kind of a thing. Sunday night, this came through. But linebackers, wide receivers, defensive ends, defensive linemen, running backs, 2 running backs. So it's going to be really exciting. I mean, as far as like just seeing these guys be on the field for the first time in UCF uniforms.
Yeah, and he seemed to address a lot of needs right away. I mean, we needed a lot of different things on defense and certainly some skill position players, especially the running back position. He plugged those holes pretty quick.
Yeah, well, that's I think the defensive line especially, and when we've talked about this, was pretty weak at times last year, missing Kalia Davis, which was a really big deal because he sat out for COVID season last year. The other thing is, speaking of COVID, still have that extra year that they've given people. So, it's a little different there as well. So there'll be people that we didn't see all year last year that we're going to see this year, and people that, didn't play at all that we'll see new as well. So, okay, going to take a break, and we'll be right back on Knightline at Night.
An auto accident can change your life forever. At Chad Barr Law, we are raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Hi, I'm Chad Barr, and I want you to know that our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the representation you deserve in your greatest time of need. If you or a loved one have been injured in an auto accident, call 407-599-9036 for a free consultation or visit chadbarlaw.com. At Chad Barr Law, our clients come to us in need and leave as family. Offices, Altamont Springs.
Hey, this is Travis Dever, Kai's Real Estate, the Dever team, New Smyrna Beach. Your source for real estate and everything else, New Smyrna Beach. Proud sponsor of Knightline. Call me anytime at 386-690-1636. That's 386-690-1636. Let me show you my hometown, New Smyrna Beach, UCF's favorite beach. Go Knights and charge on.
Looking for more out of your Porsche? Look no further than Flat6Motorsports.com. They have the widest selection of aftermarket Porsche parts anywhere in the world. With over 85 product lines and in-depth expertise, Flat6Motorsports.com is your one-stop shop for any Porsche performance needs. Whether you're shopping for intakes, exhausts, suspension, or tuning, they have you covered. Flat6Motorsports.com is the premier Porsche aftermarket specialist. Check them out at Flat6Motorsports.com.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Knightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barlaw. Got Big Ben Stout here with me. We're talking UCF sports, of course, and we started talking a little bit about, we were talking about football, and we were talking about all the roster changes and all the transfers that have come in. I think at the end I was going into about there being an extra COVID year and the transfer portal being open a little bit more this year with every player having a chance to transfer once in their college career. So, so far, really, we've gotten, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 players. I'm not going to count Brandon Johnson. He was a transfer, but happened through the Heupel era.
That's right.
He was the last person. Came here from Tennessee when Heupel went to Tennessee, basically right before that. So 11 players in this transfer portal, excuse me, all from, decent schools and decent players if you look into them. Jordan Johnson, number one, the wide receiver from Notre Dame, he was a 5-star going in.
5-star. I mean, every school in the country wanted him.
Yes. He was a 5-star player, one of the top wide receivers in all of high school at that time. I think he was number 5 or number 8 or something like that in all of high school football to go into college football his freshman season.
Number 1 in the state. He's from Missouri. He won number 1 in the state and number 5 at his position coming out of high school.
Number 5. So this is the number 5 wide receiver that went to Notre Dame and struggled a little bit. He did. Everybody knows this now. The Notre Dame fans know it well because they were extremely excited about him, coming into it. He didn't do well in Brian Kelly's system. Brian Kelly's system there at Notre Dame is a pretty intense system. A lot of stuff for wide receivers to do, a lot of stuff for wide receivers to know, and he prefers to play older people. So Jordan Johnson had a couple issues in a couple games. I think one game that he did play and he had 2 penalties in a row or something like that, and basically he was out. So he's getting a chance to start over. This is one of the things that the transfer portal does, and it's a great thing. It not only gives people a new chance at a new school, but it gives people a chance to start their careers over in a way.
That's right.
Even if it's for a short time, because some of these people only have, 1 year left. Some of them are grad transfers, all that stuff. But some of them are still, freshmen, especially with the extra year because of COVID. So some of these guys have a full career left.
And I think I said this off the air last week, so forgive me if I'm repeating it on the air. I don't think I am, but
I repeat stuff all the time.
It's all good. One of the things that excites me about Jordan Johnson is that what we've had previously with transfer portal, well, prior to Gus, right? Like we were excited about a lot of transfer portal guys coming in. Like I remember even Trey Nixon, when he coming from Ole Miss, right? A lot of these guys, they're coming back home, right? Especially during the COVID year, but even before that. Jordan Johnson is from Missouri, He doesn't have a connection to Orlando that we know about anyways, unless you do know something that I don't. So he's coming here for Gus Malzahn. He's coming here for the excitement of the UCF program and to get that restart that you talked about. A 5-star, highly recruited guy that every school wanted across the country. Goes to Notre Dame. It doesn't quite work out for him, but he's coming back here for the great opportunity to really be a launching pad for success here at UCF. And that's exciting. It's not him coming back home. It's him coming to the best opportunity that he felt for him.
Yeah, exactly. And some of these people, some would say, and I'm not one of these people that say that there's no difference in the quality of football in the American than any other conference.
That's right.
Some people would say that there is, and Notre Dame is they play Alabama every year. They play all these teams every year. There's no difference, but there is a difference in a way, because some of these players that we don't get 5-star recruits. There's only been one in the G5, one that is committed to a G5 team. There have been other transfers, but this is big for UCF to get a guy that was a 5-star. I don't care if he transfers as a 3-star. He's a 4-star as a transfer because they re-rate the stars. But still, it's one of those things, and it's big for UCF. And this will have a trickle-down effect. If he comes here and sets the world on fire, which he very possibly could, then more people that are 5-star players and highly rated 4-star players are going to see that. Hey, it didn't work out where I was, at Alabama, at Mississippi State, at wherever. And they're going to come into the G5, into UCF, the best of the G5. I'll say it.
No doubt.
We all know that. And they can tear it up here. Big Cat Brian is one of those guys that's going to tear it up. I mean, really going to tear it up. I think a bunch of these guys on this list will tear it up. And coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more about that, because this segment is the short one. So we're getting ready here very quickly to take a break. So, all right, well, there's the music. That's the time to take the break. So we'll be right back after a little break here on Knightline at Night. Please come back. If you haven't figured it out yet, I love Tijuana Flats. I would love them even if they weren't a partner with us on the Knightline Sports Network. They have all kinds of great Tex-Mex food, and it's fresh, by the way. Made to order burritos, tacos, enchiladas, chimichangas, quesadillas, bowls, nachos, and taco salads. And if you haven't tried the queso, you are completely missing out. It is the best queso that I've ever had in my life. Absolutely hands down. And the sauce bar that they have, everything from wild to mild in there. Absolutely awesome, awesome stuff. Not only do I love the food at Tijuana Flats, but I love the company, a UCF-born company. And they give back to the community with the Justin Queso Foundation. So head to your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. Hey Jeep Wrangler owners, have you ever sat in your office at work and watched the rain just pour into your Jeep because the weatherman said that there was a 0 chance of rain? Or you put your doors back on because there was a 100% chance and then not a drop of rain fell? Well, there's a company out there that can help take the worry away and give you the peace of mind to be without your doors. The company's called Life Without Doors. They make waterproof rain curtains and dash covers for Wranglers. Life Without Doors is there to help make the decision to leave the doors at home an easy one. Find out more at lifewithoutdoors.com.
Spice up your company with homemade marketing services from Tasty Gravy Creative. Tasty Gravy serves up the menu of budget-friendly marketing, graphic design, and public relations services customized to your specific goals. Co-owned by a UCF graduate, Tasty Gravy can help refresh your brand, strengthen your online presence, or reinforce your company's message. Contact Tasty Gravy for help with your website, social media, marketing, advertising materials, and more. Visit tastygravy.com.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Knightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barlaw, assisting injured veterans to get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036, or visit protectingvets.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. And if you want to talk to us, you can call us as well, 844-580-9326, 844-580-9326, or you can use the open mic feature in the WDBO app to send us a little message. Once again, I'm Andrew Phegley, AP_Knightline on Twitter. Got Big Ben Stout here with me at Big Social 32 on Twitter. And you can find all the rest of our content, including podcasts and more, on nightlinesports.com. All right. A mouthful, but I went all the way through it. Can you imagine that? It doesn't happen very often.
Flawlessly, too.
I'm on a roll tonight. Okay, so.
Feeling good.
Feeling good.
Give us a shout, folks. Give us a call.
Yeah, you can call us and talk to us about UCF sports. I mean, everybody is so excited. It's 100 days from today that first UCF game will be played. Maybe. Because we're not sure.
It's either 100 or 101 or 2. Come on, we're close.
It's we're there, exactly. If it's Thursday night, it's 100. If it's Friday night, it's 101. If it's Saturday night, it's 102.
By the end of this week, we're double digits to UCF football.
That's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Did you didn't go to any games last year?
Not a single game. I did not make it. So
I went to one. And I've talked about, I know the people that listen all the time are like, man, he talks about this all the time, but I'm going to tell it for the people that haven't been listening. The people just happen to turn their radio on. Those are the ones really I want to bring in new people to listen to what we're talking about and get them excited about UCF sports. UCF sports is awesome. There's all kinds of good stuff going on. In fact, let's talk about that real quick. There's men's tennis going on.
Yeah.
Big deal.
That's right. So UCF as a team, the men's tennis team is no longer in the team NCAA tournament, but in a sport like tennis, it's an individual sport, and we have a superstar individual on the men's tennis side, Gabriel DeCamps, a legitimate national championship competitor here. He just beat TCU's number 17 in the country, Luke Famba, in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA Singles Championship, and he just advanced to the Elite 8 of the NCAA Singles Men's Tennis Championship. So that's a huge deal. I'll have to look up exactly when his next match is, but this guy is a legitimate NCAA national championship competitor.
An individual national championship,
which would be just huge. So for John Roddick and those guys, that's a really big opportunity. And so Gabriel DeCamps, there you go. We're going to be rooting for him in the next few matches.
Doubles championships as well are going on right now, actually, and we got Bogdan Pavel and Trey Hillerbrand that are playing in that. I believe it says this evening. So
I think it was a little bit earlier today. They have an updated story saying that their season did come to an end.
Lose?
Yeah, they did lose in that match today in the NCAA doubles championship. But that means we had a doubles team and a single singles competitor that both made the Sweet 16. So that's a big deal. One of them advanced, one of them, the doubles team did not, but still, like you said, Trey Hillerbrand and Bogdan Pavel, I mean, that's a great team that went really far in the NCAA tournament.
DeCamps, who is rated number 8 in the nation, plays tomorrow against Kentucky's number 1 nationally seeded guy.
Wow.
Liam Draxel, in the singles championship quarterfinals tomorrow at noon. So number 8 taking on number 1. So this could be, a little difficult. It could be a little bit more difficult than beating the guy that was number 17. But Gabriel DeCamps is playing. He's playing very good. So, if you're into tennis or whatever, there's all kinds of stuff that's out there for UCF sports. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. And all of the UCF sports teams this year have been good.
No doubt.
We've had people in national tournaments. We had soccer, men's soccer in the NCAA tournament. We had softball in the NCAA tournament. Still a chance, honestly, maybe for baseball to get in. Maybe. They did win their game today against Cincinnati, and that game was a crazy one from what I understand.
Yeah, that was wild. They were down 4-, I believe, essentially 4-8 going into the 8th inning, and they scored 9 runs in the 8th inning.
That's the way to do it.
So we eventually won 14-10. So that was a huge comeback win, big rally in the 8th inning. Scoring 9 runs is just crazy for any baseball level. So
now,
that's
do you
insane.
know, in the baseball tournament, are these single games or are these series?
I believe in the conference tournament they are single games. There might be a small series for the actual championship matchup,
Okay,
but they do play Memphis tomorrow.
This says the Knights will now face Memphis.
That's right.
At Thursday at 3 p.m. So okay.
On Thursday. Okay, so they get a day in between.
We have dispatched Cincinnati, which is really good. Because I don't know about you, but me being a UCF fan as of late, I don't like Cincinnati very much. At all.
I've said for the last couple of years that Cincinnati is kind of that rivalry we deserve here since the Cows, excuse me, I almost called them by their actual name. The Cows don't really, that's right, don't really live up to their end of that rivalry. We've been dominating the war on I-4. I think Cincinnati is really that rival that we deserve, and so it's good to, at any time we can bring down the Bearcats, it's a big deal.
And a guy on the phone right now, our good friend Andrew from Oviedo, that I know will love to talk about the rivalry between the Cows and UCF. Andrew, my friend, what's going on tonight?
What's up, Andrew?
I'm doing good, guys. But you're getting my blood pressure up by mentioning that team out west.
Well, we even played the little move for you there. What's on your mind tonight, my man?
Well, I was going to talk to you guys about an overall thought. Now that kind of Danny White's moved on to supposed greener pastures, we'll see about that. I was kind of curious of how do you grade his tenure at UCF through all sports? Now that he's gone, we've had time to process it. We'll see what Mohajer does, but what's the overall thought of what Danny White's done for UCF athletics as a whole?
You know, Andrew, you always come up with these great questions that really make us think, and that's the best part about it. Every time I have to, you surprise me sometimes, and I love it. I was kind of thinking about this already, though. One of the things that he failed miserably at was football scheduling. Failed miserably.
Yeah.
Because he said he was going to do all this and schedule these guys and fill the schedule. Well, Terry Mohajer had to come in here and fill 2022, which is not that far away. Next season. Still had to fill a date that Danny White left open.
Thank goodness we solidified that today with FAU.
Yeah, FAU. We got 2 games with them coming up. Exciting. Oh, woohoo.
We had to take somebody, right?
Although it is a very close road game to go to. It's nice to go down there. Hopefully we can all get in the stadium easily this time. The last time it was horrible.
Oh, it was
one of the worst experiences at any football stadium I ever had. But Danny White said at the very beginning when he came in, he said that he wanted to make UCF overall sports be top 25 in all the sports. That was his main goal. I believe that he did that because we're seeing that now. We were just talking about all these different teams that were in, the NCAA tournaments. A lot of them have been ranked in the top 25 in all sports, so I guess with that, he did it. He had a very hard year as well. I'll give him, the COVID year of last year was a horrible time to be an AD in college sports, especially with football. So as far as I'm concerned, the biggest mistake and biggest mess that he left us was the football scheduling. Besides that, I think that he did pretty well. I'm kind of upset about him leaving and going to Tennessee because I think that he would have done great things here. And it's not an upgrade to go to Tennessee. I guarantee that. And I know I'm going to make all the Tennessee people mad because they have a rabid fan base. And I understand that and I don't care.
He certainly inherited a
huge
mess
problem
there. Yeah.
Yeah. So then,
I honestly, I wanted to give him an A+. Honestly, I mean, he asked me. Andrew asked me for a grade. I want to give him an A+. I'll say I do agree with you on the schedule. I love Danny White's scheduling philosophy. I just think that over time it just kind of went a little stale, and we left with some holes in our schedule that we had to kind of fill immediately with Terry coming in. Now, I will give him a solid A, though. I think he absolutely accomplished what he said when he came in, that we are going to develop a top 25 athletics program in every aspect of the game. And the way he did that so well is that he has a knack for hiring coaches really well in all sports, not just football. I mean, obviously Frost was a great hire.
Was Heupel?
Heupel,
I don't think
debatable.
So.
I mean,
I think so.
I think he was okay at taking over from Frost.
Horrible
maybe he was
recruiter.
Yeah, and certainly now it didn't last very well. But that being said, other sports, Coach Abe in basketball. We were just talking about men's tennis. I mean, John Roddick hiring him to run the entire men's and women's athletic tennis program. I mean, you can go on and on. Sidney Bobalone. I mean, Johnny Dawkins has been pretty well also. His ability to hire coaches, I think, is his lasting legacy at UCF. I think
I missed the point about a letter grade, so I'm going to give him a B- because football scheduling was a really, really big deal.
Wow,
it's huge. It's the biggest sport. It's the most revenue out of all of them. That was his biggest number one job to do, and he failed at it here.
Yeah.
Andrew, what about you, really quick? What do you think?
I would give him a solid A because considering what he's done for the program, I mean, even taking away the 2017 football season, I mean, everything's gotten better except baseball. But I think he's done very well, and I think the way he came out, he left, now we have Mohajer, and now we have Malzahn. Considering how he came in and how he left, I can't think of a better way an AD can put a stamp on the program than what he's done currently.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, but the single biggest thing that he did that made the biggest impact was this.
You about to play it?
National champs, undefeated.
He said that into a camera on whatever TV. I don't know if it was played. Was that played on the national broadcast, or was that just the UCF?
It was DeSalvo actually did it with a cell phone camera. It was on UC. It was on the.
Okay, but it went national,
no doubt,
and everybody knew about it. Everything that happened after that was a big deal. So maybe I'll move up to a B, but still, the football scheduling thing I don't think is forgivable. I just think that's that big of a deal. He should have scheduled these big teams that we all want to play. We'll be right back on Knightline at Night. Please come back.
I'm Jeff Allen. Join me each and every week on the Knightline Sports Network for the AAC Report. We bring you in-depth coverage of each school in football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, golf, tennis, and more, as well as bring you insider interviews and focus in on the biggest games and news of the week. That's all right here each week on the AAC Report, only on the Knightline Sports Network.
Welcome. This is a promo for the Take a Left at Albuquerque podcast, new to the Knightline Sports Network. You should listen to it. I say things like this. We need to stop blaming Jerry because we would do the exact same thing if we owned the Dallas freaking Cowboys. Do you know how much fun it is to own the Dallas Cowboys? My guests will say things sometimes like this.
It's the Lord of the Flies thing that happens when they don't understand that things are wrong, spoiler alert, until Piggy dies.
Lord of the Flies has been out for like 100 years. I don't even know.
Sorry to everyone at home who I spoiled the book for. A book's been out for like 90 years or something.
And sometimes, rarely though, I'll say really stupid things like this. If they don't make it out of the West and the Raptors get to the finals, I will go on either this show or whoever's show and say that Kawhi Leonard is overrated because I have too much evidence of it. New episodes drop every Friday with me and some of my good friends right here on the Knightline Sports Network.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, Andrew Phegley back with you on Knightline at Night, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Bar Law. Got Big Ben Stout here with me, talking UCF sports, almost to the end of our program. Our time with you this evening. Thank you to Andrew from Oviedo with his call, by the way, in that last segment. It was absolutely perfect. Perfect timing, everything.
No doubt.
So we're getting kind of short on time here, so we're going to go into our Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. Welcome to the Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. Visit TijuanaFlats.com for takeout or delivery, or visit your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. All right, Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. If you haven't been to Tijuana Flats, by the way, you've made a massive mistake. You need to go there and get some absolutely fresh Mexican food, and that salsa bar that they have is absolutely insane. They have all kinds of things, hot sauce up there. A little bit different than most Mexican places with that kind of hot sauce, but man, that hot sauce is awesome.
Really good.
There's some of them that I just absolutely love. Go ahead, Ben, real quick with your Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week.
So this is a hot take. We're UCF homers. I'm just going for it. May 28th is the national championship match for NCAA men's tennis. I'm saying it. We're crowning Gabriel DeCabs the national champion.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's happening.
Okay. He's got
update next week.
I mean, I think if he beats number one tomorrow or whatever it is,
he's got an opportunity.
He absolutely has an opportunity. All right. Okay.
Gabriel DeCamps. Go, Gabe.
Well, that's a big one. It's a big one. I hope we didn't jinx him right there.
I hope not either.
All right. And mine is I'm going to go back to football because that's what I know the best, and that's normally what I talk about. We're talking about the transfers earlier in this list of 12 transfers this season that we're going to have that we haven't seen on the field except for Brandon Johnson. Brandon Johnson is the only one that we've seen. We talked about him a little bit earlier. But there's 12 guys here, a list that I'm looking at of guys that I'm going to go out on a big limb, and this is a big hot take. 6 of these players, 6 of the 12 transfers will start on day one, game number 1.
So Boise State, they're all out there.
6 of them.
6 of them.
Wow. The 12. That is half.
That's a big number, but looking at some of those names, it's certainly a possibility.
I mean, I can go through the list. I don't think we really need to, but I mean, go to nightlinesports.com and listen to the podcast that we did last on Sunday, 256. And you can hear me talking about all these guys except one of them because he wasn't on there yet on the list. I think I said 5. Now I'm saying 6.
Right.
So we went through each one of these guys, and I gave a reason why they would start. I really think that 6 of them have the opportunity. They're good players. One of them, really, Bryson Armstrong from Kennesaw State. And I know he's an FCS player, excuse me. FCS football is not bad. They just had a great tournament and crowned a national champion. South Dakota State was good stuff. But this guy was the defensive player of the year 2 different times in the FCS, and now he's at UCF.
Yeah, All-American. I mean, he's the real deal. That guy's
legit
tape is exciting. Yeah.
Very, very fast. Linebackers is what he played in the FCS. I think that I personally think that he should probably play at safety for us. So we'll see. He's extremely fast for a linebacker, had all kinds of sacks and all kinds of stuff, made interceptions, all that. But he's fast enough to be a safety, I believe. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see about all this stuff that we predict and make.
We'll be talking about it all summer leading up to it.
We will. We got 100 days left to talk about this stuff. So we will go through this list many times between now and then. So, all right.
Break down position groups. We'll do the whole thing.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight on Knightline at Night. We'll see you next week. Go Knights.
Charge on.
WDBO Orlando, WOEX-FM HD2 Orlando, W297BB Orlando, powered by New South Window Solutions. Click WDBO.com, a Cox Media Group station. This is the new home of WDBO.
WDBO.
107.3 FM and AM 580 Orlando.